CollectCallFrom. I'm currently waiting for Big Joe to to connect. I just I'm hoping the phone quality or the call quality is a lot better than it's been in the past. Typically in the daytime during this time, it seems to be working pretty well. So hopefully that's the case today. And I can't wait. I haven't been on as much as I would like to, but I mean that's been it's been out of my control. I could only do what I could do, from my end, and the rest is up to GTL, and they're not keeping their end of the bargain, and there we go.
Is now being recorded.
Global Telling, usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
Un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, Joe.
Yeah.
All right. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Got a workout out the way. Play some basketball. I'm doing great.
You hit the yard today already?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you gotta get out there, get the yard, come back. That's why I scheduled in for 10:30 because that's inline. So I went out at maybe like 8:30ish. Did push-ups. I ran a little bit, played basketball, got worn out, and then I just waited to come in dying out there like, oh man, these legs ain't what they used to be,
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, I was at 8:30. I was still in bed. I was like, man, I'm like opening my eyes up. I'm like, man, should I get up? Should I lay here a little bit longer? But then I was like, nah, I need to get up because if not, it'll be 10:30 already, and then I got this pending call. So let me go ahead and be proactive and get out of bed and let's see where the morning takes me.
Yeah, man. Well, I brought us here, James. You know what I was thinking about?
Yeah, what were you thinking about?
We talk about this educational app, and I just been calling it the educational app, right? And for a little while, I want to say a couple months, I couldn't go in there. When you go in, you got to log in, right? And after that, you can start searching some stuff up. And I've been in there before when it barely started, and I was tampering with it, but my keyboard wouldn't show up. So then I wasn't going in there for a long time, and because I couldn't type in, my keyboard wasn't popping up, so therefore I couldn't type my information in to get in there, right? So I went in there the other day, and I discovered they got all kinds of new stuff, and I don't need my keyboard no more because now I'm automatically logged in, which is great because remember we tell you guys about these tablets, how stupid they are, how slow they are. Well, somebody in that educational Edovo app figured out if they type in once, just let them stay logged in, Just don't make them type in every single time we go out, right? So they fixed it. But what I really wanted to say was I typed in Scott Budnick's name in the Edovo app, and they have all his videos right there. And these videos, I've seen them all before, but I watched them all again. I've seen them before because in around 2019, I want to say, they started introducing these videos to the institution channel. And these videos, at that point, I already knew I was going home. Like, I don't know when, but I already knew. It's 2019, 2014, the law changed. I'm already working on trying to go home right here. But those videos gave me so much hope. And I will go to the yard at that time. And I'll be like, hey guys, you see the video, and nobody was watching.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Nobody will be watching the videos on the institutional channel. And I'll be like, and I guess that's I guess that's a measuring stick, you know, of how bad you want to go home. Because I was watching them religiously. Like, I'll watch them over and over and over. And sometimes I'll have old cellies that'll jump on there. And I'll be telling my new cellies, like, look, fool, that's my old celly, that's my old celly. And I'll get all happy. And it seemed like they couldn't relate to the joy. But I'm like, he's home. And this fool had LWOP. Like I don't know how much more inspiration you need, right? And to stumble on these videos again, I thought that was a great thing. And we always talk about the tablet, and do you think the tablet is better now for inmates to have versus before when they didn't have nothing? And I'm always like, absolutely, bro, absolutely. It's not even the same prison system. You don't even feel like you're in jail like this, right? This is just one more layer of how helpful a tablet is. Now, I don't know if guys are going to go out there and watch the videos, but this weekend, the last 3 or 4 days, I've been watching videos nonstop. I've seen all the old ones. I've seen already. And I've seen a bunch of new ones. And the new ones, they made me sad a little bit because there are a bunch of lifers that went home in 2014. And, you know, some of them have ugly stories, you know? Like, there was a couple women up there. And the woman, she was in front of the San Francisco Bridge, I believe, right? So they're all in San Francisco. And she had went to board so many times. They got so many denials, you know? And this is in the times where they don't let lifers out. So in 2014, that's when the SB260 came into effect. So that year, it's for juvenile lifers, but that year, they started letting all kinds of lifers out because of that, because of the wave that was coming now. So all these people that have been in prison, going to board and getting denied, and really working on themselves and not getting no applaud for it, they started releasing them in 2014. And I feel so bad for prior lifers, previous to me and to my peers that are starting to come out home now, right? Because it seemed like their fight was more hard. Their fight was more hopelessness, you know? Like, I didn't start going to the board till I knew I'm going home. Like, I know you can deny me, but I know I'm going home one day. And they didn't have that. So when they were going to board, they knew they were just going to die in prison. I honestly believe that's how they felt. And from the videos, that's how it looks, you know? And they'll tell them, like, what do you got to say about any lifer in there, you know? And they started crying. And she started crying because she's like, just don't give up. Because you'll never get here, you know? And I feel those videos. And I know I'm going home. But I still feel them because I know what they're saying to a younger me that knew I was never going home. There's no excuse for any lifer out there now to think he ain't going home. You're going home unless you pick up a new life sentence in prison, unless you get malice and forethought on a new crime in prison. Aside from that, and unless you killed a cop to come into jail. Like those guys, they make sure the law's written not to affect those people. But any other lifer is going home. And if you got LWOP, you're strongly going home too. And I just thought these videos were a good thing to share because we don't know if we have audience members that listen and they're in prison right now. And if you're in prison right now in California, at least you got the Dovo app. And you could just type in Scott Budnick. Those will take you to his videos. And they're titled something else, so you got to click on. And then to find the ones going home, I think they got like Brandon's story, Tony's story, Joe's story. It's like a name and a story, and it's blue and white on the front, you know. And I just wanted to share that in case we do got people interested in those videos, you know. They're very inspiring.
And let me ask you something. You know, since we're on the topic of of lifers going home, do you ever like have dreams or thoughts of what would you do when you come home?
Man, I'm sure I must have had a dream or a thought or a something when I would come home, right? But I live in a very ugly reality, right? I know I'm going home one day. I know that. But at the same time, um, my my vision is limited because you see these guys, and keep in mind you got almost no information. But in the prisons that I've seen lifers go home, it's two of them now. It's they were both level 3s, and I'm seeing inmates go home. One level 3 barely let any inmates go home. It was like 10 guys go to board, one gets a grant. And that's slim because guys don't go to board all the time. But in that prison, I seen them pull a date. And when they pulled the date, they're like, oh, they took his date, they took his date, they took his date. That's kind of like all the information you get. You kind of don't get no more information. You kind of don't know what's going on. And but you know he's not going to get released. So when they grant you in California, they grant you parole. You don't know you're getting a date. At least in my mind, this is how I think of it. You don't know you're getting the date until you walk out the gate. And it's funny you asked that question, James, because I almost forgot. I did actually forget, right? In one of those videos of the stories, this guy's in a wheelchair. And this guy's he's telling his story after he goes home. And he's like, you know, I got my grant. I'm sitting there, and I think he paroled from Avenal, I believe he said, right? And this guy had been to at least a new Folsom 180. At least he was right there, at the very least, right? And this gentleman's talking about the night he's going to go home. The next morning he's going to go home, right? So he says he's in a dorm setting, and he goes, so many inmates stayed up with me all night because it's my last night. They stayed up in the dorm. So we're up all night until they call me. And he goes, even when they called me, I knew I'm not going home. So he's like, even when we were going to R&R, I knew I was not getting out. And then
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
they let him out. And he goes, for like 30 minutes, I was just laughing. Because I had so much joy, and I was crying and laughing, and I didn't know what to do. Because now it turned real. And now I'm like, oh snap, I need to go to McDonald's. Guy's like, so now, barely then was everything hitting him. And I know that's not the same. I know we're all different people, but I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that until my feet walk out the door, and even probably get away from the prison, to be honest with you guys, because even when I walk out, I'm probably like, this is too close. They could grab me and pull me back in. like I need to go. I need some distance, you know? Only then I think will I feel or start thinking like what do I want to do right now? Because my mind's kind of blocked off, you know? And maybe that's a coping tool because I don't want to feel the hurt if that should ever happen to me, right? But I've seen it on multiple occasions where inmates get granted and they get the date pulled. And again, you have almost zero information on why. Maybe they know, but like you as another inmate, you don't know, you know?
Man, that's that is a reality right there. When the board finds you suitable, and you have to wait for that that what is it, 120 days or 150 days depending on what type of case you committed, and
you have,
and then,
yeah.
And then the governor has the option of pulling your date, and then what happens when the governor revokes your date? Are they? Can you go back into court? To have the court decide whether they're gonna let you home or not, or what's the process?
I don't think so, James. I think the process is this. You start going to board again. Matter of fact, I know the process is that because there is a guy, I won't say his name, but he's very famous, bro. He's a very famous person. And he
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
he went to board a couple times, bro, and they granted him all the time. From the very first one, they gave him the grant, and they pulled it. He went to board again, gave him the grant, pulled it. He went to board again, gave him the grant, pulled it. I think this individual went to board 6 times. I believe on the 7th or 6th time, they gave him the grant like they always do, and they finally let him out. But I think on that one, he went to court, and the courts basically told them, like, you're going to have to let him out. Like, you're finding him suitable, and you keep denying him over and over and over, you know?
Man, I'm sure that's definitely a tough pill to swallow. Going that many times, and obviously
And
the
getting
board.
the denial.
Yeah, it must be
Yeah.
crushing, and for your family too. All right, so the call was cut off. He should be calling back shortly. And right now, I just saw your question, Eliasman. I'll go ahead and ask him right now when we reconnect, and ask him when he's gonna be going to the board. So I'm not sure if you guys could hear like a microwave and a cereal being dropped into a bowl over here, but I'm streaming from my kitchen area, and my wife is like, "What are you doing here? Like, you should be in the room in your office doing this." But I like it out here.
This call is now being
Esta
recorded.
es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine for a family because I can only put them against my family. And when I went to board, keep in mind, Prop 57 just passed. I thought I was going sooner. And you have to have support letters within 6 months of the board date, or the board looks at them like, we're not going to count this, right? So before I went to my first board, I had at least had my family members write like 3 different letters of different dates, right? Because they thought I was going sooner, right? And by the time I went to my first board, it felt like I was in board 3 times already, bro. And when I got the denial, my family was, they were devastated. I was shook up, right? But they were really devastated, bro. And they didn't understand. They don't understand nothing because they got kids that are like 25 years old, and they look at them to measure how long I've been busted, right? So I can only imagine how heart-wrenching that is for a family. Personally, I wouldn't even tell my family, after I got denied the first, like, I wouldn't have the heart to keep putting them through it over and over and over,
And right now, just a moment ago, or before the call got disconnected, Eliasman asked a question, and what he wants to know, does Joe have a board date?
Yeah, I'll forever have future board dates coming up, until they let me go. Usually they deny you in 15 years. They give you 15-year denials, 9-year denials, 7-year denials, 5-year denials, 3-year denials. 3 is the lowest denial you could get is 3 years.
And what's the biggest denial you've ever seen?
Personally,
Yeah, personally.
I've only seen a 7. I've only seen a 7-year denial.
And why would somebody get a 7-year denial opposed to like a 3-year denial?
Oh man, in this topic of prison and all this, I consider myself like an expert. But when it comes to the board, I am far from an expert on things. I can only assume that if you got a 7-year denial, you are knee deep in shit still. And they're saying 5 years is not good enough for you. So we're giving you 7. And 7 years is a long time to give a person a denial, but maybe in the board's eyes, they're like, there's no way we could pull you back in 5 because we will deny you again. So if you change your life from this point moving forward, and you come 7 years from now and you impress us, maybe we'll let you go. That's what I will be thinking. Now, when you get a 3-year denial, it's almost like they're saying, no, I can't even say that because when you get a 3-year denial, because I've seen a lot of 3-year denials, right? I've seen a guy from East Arriba. He got 3-year denials back to back to back to back. Now, he keeps getting 115s before he goes the next one. And when you get a 115, I would think, personally, I would think that they will be like, okay, maybe the first one is 3-year denial, right? But if you come back the second 3 years in a row and you got another 115, man, I'm an inmate, bro, but I could see them saying, like, do you need a 5-year denial? What do you need? But they still gave him a 3. And he went on the third one, and he had another 115. So he's getting 115s in between the 3-year denials. And they keep giving him a 3-year denial. So what that tells me for that specific individual, that specific case, that's telling me they want to let him go. But he can't remain disciplinary free to get out. He can't do it. And for anybody that is listening and saying, like, what a dumbass, what a stupid, this fool's done 20-something years in prison. They're trying to let him out, and he can't do it. It's harder than it sounds, because every day in prison, I don't care who you are, I don't care how Christian you are, walking a straight line you are, you can get a 115 almost every day in prison, and that's the reality of it. It doesn't have to be your fault. You have to live with another man. He can get you the 115. If you refuse to live with the other man, that's a 115. If it's a lot of things that you get 115s on your own. I'm not excusing. I'm not saying everybody in here is just getting 115s for another person. I'm not saying that. People get 115s because they're messing up. But in certain cases, a lot. It's not even a few. It's not even a few cases, guys. It happens a lot where you get a 115 and you did absolutely nothing wrong. And it's like, damn, and it's a messed up situation to be in, but we're in it. We're living it right now. So the best way I could give advice for something like that is you have to distance yourself from all kinds of individuals, and there's one you can't. You can't distance yourself from a cellie because you live there. And it sucks because believe it or not, cellies get you 115s all the time, and I just feel for that individual, but concerning other people outside of the cell, you have to be able to distance yourself from people. And these are close friends and they're best friends, and you got to learn to be like I can't hang around. Or you got to know, like on the streets when we were little kids, and that the homie that always will go home like before 12 o'clock. And you'll be looking at this fool. And when I was little, I remember we would love him, but we would talk bad about him.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
We'll be like, come on, just kick it, fool. And he'll be like, nah, I got to go. And whatever reason, he'll weasel his way out. And then like a shooting will happen. And we'll be like, fool, you missed it. Like that. And he'll be like, oh, man. Something in that man's, as a youth, something in him told him, let me shake the spot, because bad stuff happens around this time, right? As adults, that's what we have to do too. If you're in prison and you got doggies and you guys are tight, sometimes you got to be like, I can't do it. And it sucks because, you know, they're going to feel a certain way. They're going to be like, what's up with this fool, you know? But that's where the hard choices kick in. And that's where it's like, what's more important, going home or chilling with you on the yard? Because I can't do both.
You know what? Right now that you mentioned, you know, having a bad feeling, I think when it comes to things happening, and we haven't talked about this in the past, but I do tell my daughter, your body will tell you, you know, when something's about to happen. A lot of us tend to ignore those sensations, those feelings that our body is alerting us that, hey, you know, you should leave. And then next thing you know, you're involved in something that is no good, or you're hurt. You know, I could remember back to many times, you know, when I was when I was in the street, you know, I wasn't gangbanging or anything like that, but that wouldn't, you know, save me from, getting hurt, you know, because, you know, some people, they don't care, you know, like if you just happen to be in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time and they're not able to find the people they're looking for, you're the next best thing. Because
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. And you know, there was times, you know, when and I had a friend, he was really good at this. You know, he would always tell me like, hey, you know, I have a bad feeling. And I'd be like, hey, man, stop being a weenie. You know, like, come on, ain't nothing going to happen. And boom, next thing, we're getting chased by the cops. And
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, James, right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But they were the smart ones. Now that we're older and we look back, they were the smart ones. They're what we need to be now. You know, weenie, call me what you want, bro. I go home to a lady every night. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we need to be.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, I mean, as I'm older, you know, I don't have to worry about those things because, most of my friends, you know, they live out of state. So, you know, there was one point, you know, that makes it a lot easier, you know, and plus then, I mean, I'm 43 already, so, you know, I'm not too concerned, you know, what anybody else is doing now in their lives. But, you know, at one point, you know, you wanted to be there. You didn't want to leave, whether, you know, it was because, you know, you were out, you were having a good time and messing around or whatever, you know. So I can definitely, you know, relate. Yeah. But, you know, at some point you gotta kind of figure it out and know, you know what's best for you. Some people get it, some people don't.
And in prison, I'll say this, guys, because everyone's adults out there. Everyone grew up. Everyone has a life, right? Like a lot of the viewers might be, the audience, you know, everyone's an adult. So remember when you were a teenager. Remember when you were in junior high and high school and you had the crowd, right? In prison, the crowd never goes away. So we always talk to like a zillion people in here. Now, I know that when people have left, people have paroled. I know certain people have felt a disconnect, right? A disconnect with society or whatever. And it's not that. It's that people get older and you're just not as social as you were when you were younger. And when I hear things like that, I'm like, you know, that's normal. People don't have a zillion friends when they're older, you know? And in here, what I'm trying to say is like...
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Maybe the arrested development of being a teenager gets stuck, and you get stuck in that zone, and that's why you feel so bad, not kicking it with your best friend on the yard. But again, those are the big boy decisions. Those are the big boy pants that you got to be like, man, I gotta give myself some distance from all this madness, and at least that will help with certain 115s, you know. And that's crucial because you can't go below the board with 115s and expect to get out.
You know what? And we do have a few people here in the chat, and I want to go ahead and let you know, who's in here. We have we had El ICEMAN, tapping in, and what he put up, "Buenos dias, gente," and
yeah, that's right.
We also had LBCK 15, saludos James, and then we also had a newer participant in the chat going by Shiesty Poo. What up?
Oh, what up? Shiesty Poo's up, man. That's a beautiful name, man. I love that one.
And then we had the one and only E16, better known as Biddy K, coming in from Britain, London, E16.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
We also had
hey, you know what, James? I love this community.
Right?
Keep going.
We also got D86 coming in from Riverside, California.
Okay.
We also have Righteous Monkey tapping in from Arizona, and he writes tapping in. Good morning, afternoon, everyone.
Likewise, bro.
Oh, and we just got Fischler SoCal tapping in from
Le
work.
queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Oh man, this one feels like a family reunion for me, James. Like it's been a while since and it feels good, bro. It feels good. I wish we were on video right now so they could see my smile.
Right? Yeah. When are you going to be having a day room? I know the call we're kind of short. Let me see how much time we got left on the call. We got about 35 seconds.
We got day room today at 12:30 to 1, anywhere from there.
Okay. So maybe we could bless him.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe because okay. They're gonna see this tired old man from basketball. They're gonna be like, okay, it's time to exit this channel.
Hey, so give us a call back. It's about to cut off.
All right.
That's right. Hey, man. Man, it does feel good, seeing all of you guys in here. Really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to, jump on these lives as regularly as I would like. But hopefully, we're able to get back into the swing of things. And in the evening calls are definitely not working out just because the issues with GTO. But I guess during this time of the day, it's probably like the best time. The only thing with that is that a lot of these gentlemen, they work or they're facilitating programs, so they're not able to do these morning calls like Joe and Javi.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you know what? Can you recall any time that you had like a bad feeling in your gut and you didn't trust it?
Yeah. Did I tell you about when I came back from Mexico the day I got arrested?
No, I don't think so. Not that I recall.
Okay. So we're in Mexicali. Like that's Mexico, but it's not. It's like borderline, So Mexicali's by TJ, Tijuana. It's just more east. So we're in Mexicali, and we're coming back from Mexico. Like I'm coming back to the city, and we leave like at 5 in the morning. And when we leave, the highway patrol, or not the highway patrol, the border patrol in Mexico is just dogging the car, and it's 5 of us in the car. And when he's dogging, everyone's looking at me like they're not looking, but they're like, "Hey, fool, you need to run. You need to run. You need to run." Like nobody in this car does not know what's going on at this point, right? And I'm like, relax. If he tries to tackle me or if he tries to wrestle with me, you know, I'll throw a couple swings and then I'll run, you know. And we're at the border, so it's like a zillion cars packed back to back to back to back. And this fool comes to the car and he ducks his head and he looks at my window, which I'm behind the passenger. And I roll down the window and he looks at me and he's like, "Don't you got somewhere you got to be?" And I look at this fool and I'm like, "No." He's like, And he lifts up. And then when he's walking around the car, now everyone's freaking out in the car. And they're like, run, fool, run. They're going to bust you. I'm like, I ain't running. Forget this fool. Like, it ain't that time yet. Calm down, guys. He goes around the car. He pulls out the driver. Tells him open the trunk. Driver opens the trunk. They're back there for a minute. And everyone's like, run, fool, just run. They're trying to look out for me, bro. They're trying to, like, just run. Please just run, fool. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, we're going to sit this one out. The driver comes back in the car. The Border Patrol walks in front of us with the rest of the Border Patrol guys. And the driver is like, "Hey, fool, I know what you guys are thinking. Don't run." And I'm like, "I'm not." And he's like, he's sweating us because you guys are all underage. Like, you could tell you're kids, you know, and the driver's probably like 23 at the time. But everybody else in this car is young as hell. So he was talking about, "Hey, don't you got somewhere to be? Don't you got to be in school?" You know, it's like a Monday, bro. And we're coming back from Mexicali. And so we crossed the border, and now we're in some little city called Calexico. And when we're in the city, that incident scared everybody to the point that everybody said, "I'm going back." Nobody wanted no beef with the U.S. right here, bro. Everybody said, "We're going back." And we used to go down there to party to, like, escape a little bit, right? So they walk across the border and they go back. Me, I'm stubborn. I'm like, there's no way, bro. I'm coming back. I got things to do right now. The driver sticks with me. "Yeah, let's go back." This car had been wrecked. It's a 1989 Honda Civic 4-door. It had been wrecked, so one of the tires starts showing wire before the rest of them, right? So you got to rotate the tires. And we're all the way in Mexico coming back home. It's like a 4-hour drive, it feels like, at least, right? So I grab the cross to change the tire, and I break one of the bolts off, James. And when I break the bolt off, I'm like, fuck. And keep in mind, I'm 17 at the time. So the driver comes out, and his name's John. And John's like, Did you do it, fool? And I'm like, "Fool, I broke the screw off." So he's like, "Fuck, what do we do?" I go, "What you mean what we do? We're going home." So we take off. And I got to say something right here, guys. Everybody thought nobody had money at this point, but I still got money in my pocket. I just didn't tell them, right? So when we're driving, the Honda Civic got 3 bolts on the tire, on the front passenger tire. There's a part in Calexico. There's a part coming from Mexico to my city where you have to stop and do a turn. And when we're slowing down for that stop, the car starts shaking. And we're like, what the hell? So we pull over. Guess what happened, bro? Now that 3 bolts turned into 1. 2 bolts just broke off on their own, right? So now it's 1 damn bolt. And keep in mind, because it sounds stupid as we go. The story goes, I sound stupider and stupider, right? I tell John, "Check it out, fool. They must have broke off barely because we're slowing down." Now, I don't know if you know about gravity, but gravity holds shit together. So if we could get in the car and just go slow a little bit. And
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Bro, if we could punch the gas, the gravity will automatically hold the tire together. and we'll just be on the freeway smashing out until we get home. This is a 23-year-old dude I'm trying to convince. It doesn't take much, bro. He's like, okay, fuck it. Like, you dumbass, now that I look back, right? But this fool goes in the car, and we try it. We're like, boom, it's done. Car's tilted like we got hydraulics on it, right? It's on through motion, bro. We get off, we look, the tire's gone, the bolts are gone, and we're in the middle of nowhere. It's like a 86 highway I think we're on, or the 111. So we're walking like, fuck it. We start walking, and then after that, we walk probably like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we find like a half-ass junkyard, right? No other way to describe it, and it's empty. And we're walking in, and I'm telling John, be careful, fool. These places might have dogs. You know, I'm just picturing some big-ass Rottweiler coming for us, right? And it's in the morning time, guys. It's still early. So we get there, and we're like, hello? Oye, compa, árguese aquí. And we're doing all this and that. And I'm like, fool, we're going to die out here, man. This is like Jason Voorhees type scenario right here. Like, they could just run after us with a machete, and ain't nobody going to know we're here. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? So, finally a tow truck comes, and we're like, hey, fool, our car's stopped over here. Can you help us? And he's like, yeah. We hop in the tow truck. He drives, which seems like 5 minutes now. We hook up the car. We take it back. He's going to hook it up, and he's like, hey, fool, you guys got no bolts. And we're like, yeah, we know. So, you know, we need help. He's like, no, you don't get it. I can't just put a new tire on. You guys don't have the bolts. So something about the whole brake drum or disc kit, or I don't know what names they're called, but he's like, I have to take this whole thing. You need the whole thing in here. And we're like, fuck. And he's like, look, I don't got one. So he starts calling his competition. And we're like, you're calling your competition? He's like, yeah, well, we do this every now and then, right? Okay, fuck it. It makes sense, whatever. So his competition had the Civic bass drum or whatever the tire, or whatever these bolts go to. So then he drives over there, gets it, and he's telling us it's going to be this much money. And John's like, we don't got no money, fool. And I'm like, fool, I got like $112 in my pocket. And John goes crazy on me like, what the fuck, fool? I thought you didn't have... Relax, fool, relax. It came in handy when it needed it, you know? So we give him like the $112, and John makes a deal, and he's like, I'll leave you my ID, and I'll come back, and I'll give you a Mossberg, brand new Mossberg shotgun for the rest of the money. And that fool's like, okay, fuck it, we'll iron it out like that. By the time they get done fixing this damn car, bro, it's like 5 p.m. at night. We spent the whole damn day over there. It was a whole day project. All day. What I feel like now, all day and for years after, God was trying to, like, don't go back home, bro. Don't go back home. He did it at the Border Patrol. He did it when the tire fucked up. He was trying to keep my ass out. And my stubborn ass was like, nah, I'm going back. And when we went back, you know, I'm like, John's like, I'm going to meet you Sunday night and be at the Target, and we'll bone out back. I was like, okay, cool. So I go, long story short, that night I get arrested, bro. And I was starving. I hadn't ate all day. And then I picked up some other money from the homie, so I had money again, and I was like, we on again. And the helicopter, I was so high and so drunk. I remember looking up. We were at a house. We were deep. We were probably like 20, 25 deep in the house. And we're looking up, some of us that were in the garage and in the front of the garage, and there's this noise. And all I could remember is I was like, whoa, whoa. And I was like, dang, fool, we're lit. That's an alien ship up there. I see a light. And they're like, nah, fool, you're tripping. And I'm like, you don't see that light? And they're like, this fool's tripping. And then that was a helicopter, bro. We were so high we couldn't even hear the ghetto bird correctly. It was just hovering over us. And they turned the big light on, and all kinds of cars rolled up. Not cop cars, like IROCs, Suburbans, Ford Explorers, unmarked cop cars. So all the cops rush us, fool. And they're like, get the fuck down, and we're standing up, and I'm so high, and I'm like, fuck you, you know? So we finally get down, we lay down. They take us to the garage. They take us to the kitchen. and they lay us on our bellies. So we're just like, we got zip ties on us, and we're just on our bellies, and everybody and their mama is in the living room. And then the homie's calling, and I remember the homie was from Florence, so he was calling, and I remember the homie picked up the phone like with his toe. He took off his shoe, and he picked up the line with his toe. He's like, "No vienes, way. They raided us, fool!" And we're like, "Don't show up, don't show up." So we're all trying to warn him not to show up, you know. And we stayed in that position, like laying down for probably like an hour or two, or felt like that. And then they finally got me, and they had a APB. They had my picture on a flyer, a juvenile hall picture from years ago. They had on a flyer, so they weren't really recognizing who I was because the picture was like 2 years old, or I don't know how old it was, but it was older, you know. And they finally got me, and then they start joking around like, "Hey, you look familiar. Hey, I know this guy. Where do you know this guy from?" And then they pull it out their little vest, and they open it in front of me, and they're like, "This is you?" And I'm like, "Hell no." And it had a different alias name on it. And I'm like, "Hell no, that ain't me." And they're like, "Nah, this is you, man." I'm like, "Nah, that ain't me." And then they just played with me for like maybe like 2 minutes. And then they took me to a detective car, and I remember when I went to the cop station and all that, you know, they were trying to sober me up. They were trying to give me coffee and like, "Hey, this and that." And I was like, "Get my lawyer." And they're like, "You ain't getting no lawyer." I'm like, "Fuck you, call my mom." They're like, "Your mom ain't coming either." And like, they kept me in there forever. And when we finally went to juvenile hall, I remember telling the detective, she was the lady, and I was like, "Please, just stop at Jack in the Box. I'm not gonna eat a good meal, you know, 'cause I'm picky as hell." So I knew that was the end of it for me, bro. And I just wanted one last hamburger, one last double cheeseburger from ultimate double bacon cheeseburger from Jack in the Crack. And that's how it went. Intuition told me to not come back, and I ignored it all the way, bro.
Right now that you mentioned your picture, that had a picture. What popped into my mind was that picture your sister sent me.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah, that's not me, bro. That's not me. I swear that's not me, bro. Let me go. Like, yeah, you only go in one place. Only one place for you right now.
Man, and then and you've been locked up ever since, right?
Ever since, bro. And that situation taught me how to read the signs. Like, now I trust my intuition. When like back to the original, the feelings. Now when they're there, like, I trust them and I go with them, and I know when my body's telling me something, you know. So I mean, you know, it was a learning.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
It definitely is, and I could tell you countless times, you know, where I should have, you know, paid attention to my body, letting me know like a danger, like run, like leave, and nope, you know, just decided to write it out, and you know, I ended up in the back of a cop car, and either ended up in the halls or county jail, and I'm like, fuck, that's what I get for not listening to my body. But you know, it kept on happening over and over and over again until, you know, as you get older, you start figuring that you start figuring, hey, don't ignore these
Figure
feelings.
it out.
Yep.
Yeah, and people say the universe speaks, but whatever your terminology is, ladies and gentlemen, is intuition is there and it's real. And I'm gonna call back because it's gonna hang up right now, but I got something else for that.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're at 10 seconds, so that was definitely a good call on Joe's part. And Righteous Monkey, you know, I really appreciate it. You know, on the congratulations on that 1K. But you know what? To be honest with you, I mean, that's all you know, and these gentlemen that come on, that got us to this point. You know, I can't take credit. You know, all I did was, you know, I'm providing the platform, and these gentlemen, you know, they're willing, you know, to come on and share their stories.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Talent Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead first because you'll forget.
Yeah, I will. So, Righteous Monkey, put a message on here. He writes, he writes, I love how transparent Joe is. He's cool. He's cool as dude. He sure can tell it's a story. Yeah, and you do. I can definitely agree with that. And he also wrote congratulations on the 1K plus subs, James. I just noticed that. Great work, bro. Well deserved. And my response to that was, it's not me. It's all I'm doing is I'm providing the platform, to bring on gentlemen like yourself, and you guys are opening up and sharing your stories, your lives, and your journeys, with the audience here. So the thanks I would have to give would be to you, Joe, and then also to the audience, because they find some value in listening to these stories. All I'm providing is the microphone. I know how to set this up, and I wish that I could hold up conversations the way that a lot of you guys are able to. But for me, it's a real struggle, to be able to hold up conversations for long periods of times. But I'm trying, so every day that I come on here, I'm always trying to do better than the previous day.
I'm gonna see you in 5 years, bro. You're gonna be a motivational speaker, coming out on Oprah or whatever she's doing. Like, I'll be like, jeez, I know that fool. Hey, bro, I want to say something about intuition again. I know we were talking about like criminal aspect, and it's definitely there in a criminal aspect, bro. Definitely there, but it's also there in relationships, bro. Like, you might meet a girl, or girls too. Girls might meet guys, but I'm only speaking from the guy side, right? You might meet a woman.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And you're just like, they're not full-blown red flags, bro. It's not like, alert, the dashboard's glowing and like, this is wrong. It's not all there, bro. But it's just like, something don't seem right, And it's like, am I tripping? Or did it, you know what I mean? So, at least for me, with my experience with women, like, intuition talks. And sometimes in my case, in my personal life, like, I would want it to work so much where I'll be like, nah, don't even listen to that, But your body talks, bro. Your body talks, and they'd be warning you, and you might be like, you really like the look of this person, like, let me look past that. Or this person makes me feel so good, like, we're clicking on all levels, let me look past that. Like, you just might want it to work for whatever reason you feel it, right? Maybe you just want to fall in love with this person, like, dang, you're the one, And your heart's like, yeah, but at the same time, there's little things like, hey, hold up. So, definitely in relationships, bro. I don't know if I want to call them full-blown red flags, but intuition and feelings and all that, don't ignore your body, don't ignore your mind, don't ignore nothing. I'm not saying go full scale and like destroy a relationship. I'm just saying, like, be aware because it's talking to you, And in all reality, most things can be hashed out with a conversation, Because I think girls look at it more crazy than guys. Like, for us, we really don't care, It's just a convo, and we'll fix it real quick. But but I think it might be different for women, But yeah, definitely intuition falls in with all aspects,
Yeah, yeah. You're definitely right about that. Yeah, intuition just doesn't come, just to the streets. In relationships too. People tend to, ignore a lot of these signs because they want to badly be, involved
They
in
want it to work
relationships.
out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or they don't want to be by
Yeah,
themselves. There's a lot of people that don't like, that can't be by themselves. They jump from one relationship to another, and it's like a constant. It's a constant. That's their theme. They just can't be by themselves. And it's hard.
yeah,
It's hard being by yourself.
yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Well, that was definitely me, bro. That was definitely me. After my first relationship in prison, I told you guys, like, I didn't think you could have a relationship in prison. But after the first one, like when shit got bad, bro, I was like, I ain't staying like this. I need letters. I need a baby on the other end. Like, I need something. And I know it's probably different on the streets, but in jail, at least it makes things smoother, depending on the man. Because some men can't hold a relationship. Some men be like, I don't want to be in nothing. Like, they just make me stress. And I'm like, fool, you're doing it wrong if you're stressing out, bro. If you're always arguing, like, you might want to look at yourself real quick, fool. I just have fun, laughs, and smiles, But, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it like that either if I was you.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Some fools are crazy.
And I remember,
Some fools want somebody just to yell at them. just to go, Texas Slim Jim, what's that fool, the wrestler?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man Randy Savage. They just want a girl to, Macho Man Randy Savage. Girl, get it right. I was like, damn, bro. Good thing you ain't a dad. Shit, Yeah.
You know what? And right now, when you were talking, you know what popped into my head when you were going through your journey and you were talking about how you tore up everybody's address and you weren't gonna talk to anybody, and
Yeah.
that you were gonna do this.
Very low point. Very, very low point in my life. And the mess of things, James, was I didn't even realize it, bro. I didn't even realize that was a low point. I was feeling so miserable and so crushed and so low, but recognizing it, I didn't. I just thought I'm going through the motions. This is what G's do. You know what I mean? Like everything was like the lifestyle,
Yeah. But obviously, you're.
What were you gonna say right now?
You're cheap.
The way you think has.
We're gonna make a point on that.
I lost it already.
I lost it already.
Oh man, I ain't never gonna interrupt you again, dog. I swear, bro. I'm sorry.
Hey, but you know what?
Forgive me, audience.
We're good, but
Yeah.
it just goes to show, you've definitely evolved, in the last 20 years. You don't you that same thought process you had when you walked into those gates is long gone, and you've definitely evolved and are definitely on a different path now.
Yeah, and you can't see it. You can't see it, bro. And I've said this to people in here. Like, if you could put me in the room at different ages, man, bro, I would have had to hem that little dude up, because that little dude would be like, I'm gonna kill you, fool. Like, what are you doing, But yeah, little dude was off the hook.
And you know what? So just to give you the heads up, this will probably be our last call for the day. But unless we're able to do like a video chat, then we could go ahead and do that, because I got to start getting my daughter ready for preschool. I can't have her missing any days. But before we run out of time, I definitely want to get into the comments, because our commentators here have been putting in a few comments here. So how earlier on I was talking about about giving you guys the thanks and whatnot, and Biddy K writes, totally disagree there, James. Yes, the guests make us all come back, but you created this space and should take credit for it. Duly noted. Yeah.
The gateway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're that fool on Avengers, on Thor. That fool that holds the sword that opens the gateway, bro. I don't know his name, but you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I don't know his name either, but yeah, I know exactly who you're talking
He
about.
got that rainbow bridge. He got the bridge right there.
We just call it the bridge,
That's what I'm talking about.
not the wet
The
rainbow
bridge.
bridge.
Okay, my bad. My bad. We don't want to discourage any audience members away. James didn't mean that, bro.
And we also
Yeah.
got Felipe Navarro. Buenos dias, señores. Fio from El Paso checking in. Saludos. Have a great day or a good day.
All right. I love El Paso. Okay.
And we also got a Goombastic 562 with a little brown fist up in the air like he just don't care.
Yeah, bombastic, man. Man, I know that's a tired man right there, bro, with a handle like that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then we did get another comment from Fishlayer SoCal. He says the lesson that needs to be learned here is
Esta
trust your
llamada
gut.
y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
The lesson that needs to be learned here is to trust your gut feelings. Facts.
Yeah. Yeah, trust your gut feeling, bro, because it don't lie. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I could have.
Hey, man, this was it could have what?
It could have saved me. You know, trusting my gut. It could have saved me a few arrests on my rap sheet.
Man, bro. Well, at least you're past it all now, you know?
Yeah.
At least you're ahead of it.
And you know what? I've been thinking about something, and I've been thinking about it for quite some time. I just haven't put it into action yet. But I want to make a video or a tutorial on how to get your juvenile record sealed, and also how to petition the court for any adult cases and have your adult record expunged, or if you have a felony that was a wobbler, getting it reduced from a felony down to a misdemeanor, and then getting it expunged. And that'll definitely help you out with regaining your rights. So that's something that I want to do. I've been thinking about it for quite some time. I just need to sit down, because sealing your juvenile record is easy, and it's free. All you gotta do go down to your the juvenile hall or the court that your cases came out of, fill out some papers, and most of the time they'll fill out the paperwork for you. So all you gotta do is provide your ID. And then they'll fill out the form for you, and then they'll call you back, or they'll mail you a letter in the mail letting you know when to show up to court. And most of the time they'll seal your records, your juvenile records, unless it's something you did something way out there, and they won't do it. Yeah. But yeah, so that's something that I do that I do want to do. Just to give back and help people out that want to do that, either don't have the funds or know how to fill out these papers. So that's something that I would like to do, and then that I am planning on doing.
Okay, that sounds good. James. And man, this was an active community today, bro. It was cracking in here. I don't know where they all came from. Everybody called in sick or something, but it was good. It's good to hear all those names again.
Well, some of them they're at work right now, so they got their Apple AirPods or their wireless headphones on, and for girls it's a lot easier to conceal those wireless headsets because they could just plug it into their ear and put their hair over, and they're good to go. But somebody like me, I'm on Front Street because I got no hair.
Okay, well, let me tell them something. I want everybody to know your company, whoever you work for, they are lucky to have you as an employee. Doing a great job, all of you guys.
Yep, my hat's off to you. Anybody that's willing to listen to us at work, shout them out, and I would be doing the same too.
Yeah.
I would be doing the same too.
We make the world go round, baby. We make the world go round right here. So it's good.
That's right.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
And there she is, like clockwork.
Okay, James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll break off, hit them with the closing, and then we'll see if we do that later.
All right, that'll work. Hey, I really appreciate you guys, everybody that tuned in today. We had ICEMAN. Who else do we have? We had LBCK. We had Shitty Shiesty Poo. We had Biddy K. We had D86, Righteous Monkey, Fishlayer SoCal, and Goombastic 562, and Biddy K. And Felipe Navarro. Really appreciate you guys, tuning in today. And hopefully, we're able to bring you guys a video chat later on in the next few hours. And with that being said, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we're out.
And with that, okay, late.
See you later. All right.